A city councilor here in New Mexico claims he is getting death threats from the mayor's son, and now the councilor has a restraining order against him. Espanola City Councilor Dennis Salazar here says Eric Lucero, the son of Mayor Alice Lucero, has been threatening him since March. Salazar says every time he votes differently than the mayor, her son gets upset, such as at the meeting last Thursday.
He, in a motion to slit my throat, and he called me outside. He's putting the middle finger to myself and, just, vigorously trying to, just slamming his chair. And, he was very upset.
Councilman Salazar there says Lucero also harassed his family during the meeting and says he has seen him threaten other city councilors. Now state police are investigating, and Mayor Lucero and her son are not talking about that restraining order. A federal jury could reach a verdict anytime today in the case of a family from Deming accused of selling guns to a Mexican drug cartel. In closing arguments yesterday, prosecutors say that the Reese family here sold weapons to an undercover informant who openly told them he was taking the guns to Mexico to sell to a cartel. The defense says the Reeses did not believe the informant because he always bragged about things that weren't necessarily true, that the man was upset at them because he was facing federal drug charges. Well, prosecutors and defense attorneys are set to meet later today in the case against a man accused of being a serial rapist. Investigators say Russell Dwayne Ross here kidnapped, raped, beat, and threatened a number of women during a number of years. Ross was supposed to plead guilty last July. It's when Judge Pat Murdoch had the case, but then Murdoch got into trouble and was thrown off the bench. Now Ross's attorneys say he is not competent to go to trial. Well, the case of a teenager accused of killing his dad on a hunting trip here in New Mexico is getting even more complicated because a judge just threw out a big piece of evidence in the case. The judge said a taped confession is not understandable. Now this is where prosecutors say Thomas Manning here admits he shot and killed his dad in the Gila wilderness 2 years ago. Court records show Manning told detectives he killed his dad and did not feel bad about it afterward. Prosecutors are trying to enhance that recording of Manning and will have the judge reconsider using it. Lawyers for Manning say if the recording cannot be used in court, they don't want detectives who questioned him to talk about the confession either. Well, another state prison contract worker has been arrested accused of having contraband. The Corrections Department says Mel Baca here was acting suspiciously on Sunday when he was working in food service at the prison in Los Lunas. We're told the guards searched Baca and found contraband food and a cell phone in his lunchbox and found alcohol, a 12-inch knife, and prescription drugs in his truck. All that is illegal on prison grounds.
If you've began to think about introducing contraband into these prison facilities, it's probably good to have notice that those fence lines are being watched in ways that they've never been watched before. So if you're thinking about it, you've taken the first step towards a prison cell yourself.
That is Corrections Secretary Greg Marcantel, very serious there. He's now investigating whether Baca has ever successfully smuggled contraband into the prison. New this morning, Albuquerque's Safe City Strike Force is set to demolish 2 troubled homes near a school later today. The houses are just north of La Mesa Elementary in the northeast part of the city. It's near Copper in Louisiana. The city says it has gotten a lot of complaints about the homes, including drug deals going on there. Well, the state's finance authority will be getting an independent audit soon, one that will cost $150,000. This is because the last audit, done in 2010, turned out to be a fake. Investigators are trying to find out how and why that happened now. The new audit is supposed to look at the finance authority's policies and procedures. Well, the Secretary of State's office is now looking at thousands of voter registrations this morning here in New Mexico. Diana Duran's office is sending out forms to 177,000 voters who have changed their address or not responded to other things sent out in the mail. If you get one of these forms and you don't fill it out or you don't vote this year, you'll have to re-register to vote. This is all because the U.S. Justice Department has warned that New Mexico is not in compliance with the National Voter Registration Act. Well, the next time you see UNM's football team play at home, it'll officially be on new AstroTurf called Branch Field. That's because Turner and Margaret Branch from the Branch Law Firm are donating $1.5 million to the football program, all during the next 15 years. Now, we wanted to know if this means UNM might be willing to sell the naming rights to the Pitt or Bob King Court, but the athletic department did not answer our question. Well, the number of homes going into foreclosure here in New Mexico is going up. In fact, it has been that way since April. And if you're one of the thousands of people affected by this, listen up, because you can get some free help today with the foreclosure clinic that is going on at the district courthouse in downtown Albuquerque. News 13's David Romero is live there right now. And David, once again, this is totally free help, right?
That's exactly right, Matt. And that free foreclosure clinic is a group of attorneys that can answer those questions of anybody in these kind of situations and point them in the right direction of options they may not even know are even out there. Now, for the past few months, that group of attorneys here in Albuquerque have devoted their time, for free of course, to give out legal advice to people who have received foreclosure notices on their homes. According to Realty Track Online, nearly 1 in almost 1,200 homes were foreclosed on in the state here in June this year. Here in Bernalillo County alone, there were about 454 foreclosed properties. Now, for those who don't know what to do if and when they've received the notices, they can ask these attorneys for advice.
We'll try to help you explain the foreclosure process, try to help you understand some of the options that you may have in order to respond to the foreclosure process, and then just generally help you more easily understand the procedures.
Now again, as we've been saying all morning, if you're coming out to this clinic, make sure you have the proper paperwork with you. That includes any of the summons or notices you've received about the foreclosure, and of course any paperwork you have on the mortgage itself. And of course that free foreclosure clinic takes place today from 10 to 2 here at District Court on the 3rd floor conference room. Matt, back to you.
All right, thank you for the preview of this, David. All the help will be given out on a first-come, first-served basis, so the best advice, make sure you get there early.